Salud, fellow imbibers. Welcome to Fort Worth Labor to Refreshment podcast, where we discuss whatever we want. Our opinions are our own and do not represent the stance of any lodge or Grand Lodge.
All right, welcome. This is Labor to Refreshments. I am Jeremy Gwynn. I am the current junior warden of Fort Worth Lodge 148.
I'm Brandy Patton, the current sitting secretary for Fort Worth 148.
And we've started this podcast to break off of the main one because we want to focus on a few different things. This one, for Labor for Refreshment, we're going to focus on the things that happen outside of Lodge.
For non-Masons, that's basically when we kind of go home, we change the pedestal. It goes from one guy to the other, just generally speaking. One guy's in charge now and outside of lodge activities. So still Masons, we're still good people, but we like to have fun too. So that's what we're going to talk about. Kind of, this is more of an intro one. So hopefully about 30, 45 minutes. Let's go.
So in what we do in our lodge, we have our dues are kind of high. We're second highest in the state. And one of the reasons why we chose to set our dues high is we get our money's worth. And part of the things that we do with getting our money's worth is these extracurricular activities. And this is what really draws a lot of people to our lodge. And we want to talk about it because we know it's hard to go visit a lodge without someone talking about membership and things like that. So, we want to give people value. Why do they come? Other than your work, your knowledge and this stuff. Some people we're human. We want to cut loose and have fun. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself on a personal level, me outside of Masonry. So I'm mid-40s, white guy, ride a Harley. I look probably pretty stereotypical of a Harley guy.
Wearing a Harley shirt.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing a Harley shirt right now too. Happily divorced with 3 kids. So I like beer. I like to drink beer. Brady and I both homebrew. Outside of the lodge, I like to, spend time with not only my lodge brethren, because they are also not only my brethren, but they're also my friends. So we hang out with them and, we go do things and we socialize and stuff like that. So that's kind of the short version of me.
Yeah. Basically the same without the divorce of the kids. About a year older, also ride a Harley. I'm not wearing a Harley shirt currently. It's a brewery shirt, which is what I also wear. Light beer. I came to Masonry because of the shrine, but I'm trying not to make this a shrine-focused podcast. I keep going back there because that's kind of the more fun side of Masonry. Homebrew Club. We're both members of the Cowtown Homebrew Club. In fact, we're officers, as Gabe mentioned on the previous podcast. All the officer corps are 148 members currently.
That wasn't done on purpose, by the way. It just happened that way.
Yeah. They joined. One of the officers joined our lodge after joining Brew Club. So
yeah,
we didn't have it wasn't intentional, as I mentioned. And so, that's pretty much our intro. And it sounds like I'm running on. So what else we got here?
Well, let's talk about the homebrew and the brew club for a minute, because that is something that's kind of like big in our lives, especially right now. I'm currently the president of the Cowtown Brew Club. And so my job as a president is to kind of, wrangle all the cats, help, I run the meetings. And then, of course, we, decide what beers are we going to brew next. And we brew for A, personal consumption, and B, to serve at our shrine meetings, which is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And I've learned so much with that kind of stuff. We get a lot of positive feedback from our brews. They're not perfect, not by any stretch of the imagination. Knock on wood, no one's ever gotten sick from one of our beers, so that's always a good thing. But so that's something that we do. Brandy actually taught me everything I know about homebrew, and I really enjoy that a lot. Brandy, you want to add anything about homebrew and brew club?
Homebrew in general, man, it's addictive. I resisted it for years. Actually, me and Jeremy met at a brewery as a result of volunteering at one. Not going to name drop them because we're not fishing for
Yeah, we're not
funding.
sponsored.
Yeah, we're not sponsored, but it's a local brewery in Fort Worth. They're great. Actually, met my wife there. So yeah, beer. It sounds like I'm an alcoholic.
We drink responsibly. Just for the record, we very much drink responsibly. Lyft and Uber is a thing. So yeah,
The homebrew, I couldn't justify because I have a very addictive personality. I knew I'd go in with both feet and I'd end up with, $3,000-$4,000 invested in stuff.
yeah. How much do you have in equipment?
Yeah, about $3,000-$4,000. I brew on a Brewzilla system, so I just do 5-gallon batches.
So jealous.
It's pretty cool. I actually want to upgrade to an Anvil Foundry with it does a half barrel system, so it's like a 18-gallon. But $1,000, I can hold off on that.
Yeah, that price tag kind of makes it easier to say, not right now.
yeah. But yeah, I've got a kegerator now with 3 taps on it. One runs nitro that currently is doing a wine that I'm pushing with the nitrogen. So that's cool.
That is cool.
Jeremy's got my old 2-tap system they put on his kegerator. So we're graduating up there too.
Just put on second beer a couple weeks ago. I had to kill a keg so I can make room for what's in the fermenters right now.
Yeah, and now we're talking about brewing exclusively. So we're gonna delve into that a lot further on future episodes.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more later. So what do we do in our lodge? So this is kind of the meat and potatoes of today's episode. Is we want to talk and give a little bit of an intro to what does Fort Worth Lodge do that everybody seems to know and love, and we feel is giving people that bang for their buck in masonry outside of what we do in the lodge or in the blue room. So, for example, one of our favorite things to do is we meet after almost every single meeting. We tend to meet about 7 p.m. in downtown Fort Worth. And after our meetings are over, we go and we'll go tie one on. And there's a little English British pub down the street. Beers are very reasonable. We'll go have one or two. We shoot the nonsense and stuff. What did you say Kate likes to do?
I'm not going to say names, but one of the members of our, so yeah, they've got this jukebox where you can download an app and you can pay and you can pick songs. And the more you pay, the higher priority is. It's nearby a big live music venue that's pretty popular and new. And just for instance, Paul McCartney plays there. Well, we won't do Cream songs. We'll do Rolling Stones just because we know everybody's going to come from there afterwards and they're going to want to listen to.
This is what happens when you give us money.
Yeah. Sorry, not Paul McCartney wouldn't be Cream. That'd be Clapton. Because that actually happened. Clapton played and everybody wanted to listen to Cream and nope, it was Rolling Stones all night.
Yeah.
But it's also a British pub, so we like to play like revolutionary American music and Irish fight songs.
Yes, that's so fun.
So yeah, it's entertaining. We're not doing it to be jerks. It's just fun.
It's just this is how we entertain ourselves. One of our members, we had to scold him because he would play just the most obnoxious, raunchy music. Not raunchy. It's not the right word. Just the most obnoxious music. Music's like so random and obscure. It's like no one's ever heard of it. And it's like, what are you playing? It's like, dude, are you DJing again? And he just gets that smile on his face, like, dude, no more. You're not allowed.
He's not even there. He still does it from home.
He will do it from home just to torment us. It's hilarious. I love him for it. It irritates me, but I love it.
So yeah, the pub things kind of started, obviously we can't drink in lodge. You can't drink on lodge property within the premises of the lodge. Grand Lodge rules are pretty specific on that. We're in a very large temple. There's a lot of rooms. It's not all lodge property. So like our banquet hall downstairs, there's alcohol available there sometimes. I wouldn't mind if we were the traditional lodge like you see on TV where bottom floor is a brewery or a bar and everybody meets there, then goes upstairs. But yeah,
like they used to do in the olden days.
Yeah, and some places still do. I mean, we still do that here.
Yeah.
Because Masons get in trouble when they drink. So
yeah, and yeah, this tradition really started kind of right after COVID. The bar there's a local bar that we just love, and Monday night's a special price night, and we used to go there because they also have food. But right after COVID, they were closing at like 9 p.m. and we couldn't get out of lodge fast enough to go and get food. And this bar had food at the time. They were little sandwiches. They were a little overpriced, but hey, it was good. And now it's just kind of stuck, even though they no longer have the sandwiches, but there is a Taco Bell and a Whataburger really close by. And, we'll hit that go over there, have one. And for those of you who don't drink and you're thinking like, oh my gosh, all these guys do is drink. No, we've got a couple members of our lodge that one I think has given up alcohol for Lent, which is great, but he still comes out. He'll come out. He'll drink the seltzer waters. We have one guy, one member of our lodge that will come out every once in a while. He just doesn't drink at all. He just doesn't care for it. Great, no problem. But he still comes out because it's still, an hour or so of just fellowship. And we don't talk about masonry. We just talk about, things, or maybe a sports game on, and we talk about that. And we're just having fun and breaking bread and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that I think really draws people to us.
Well, I think a lot of lodges are missing the fellowship part of it. It is one thing we do fairly well.
Yeah.
Rit, he's our past grand orator. He's a district instructor, past master, great guy. Family's huge into music. They know everyone in the industry. So one thing that we do now is like on Friday nights, once a month or so, we'll all go out as a group and do some live music.
Yeah.
Fort Worth, for instance, we have Sunday at Square every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They have free music, something in the square. There's a jazz lounge we go to. Nothing crazy expensive.
That was so fun.
Formal. Just go out and as a group, have a good time.
Yeah.
And we're in bed by 10 o'clock usually. So
yeah. The music on the square on Sundance, that was a lot of fun because we showed up and it's family friendly. There was no drinking because it's a public space, but no, we showed up. Kids are able to run around, play, and burn off energy and stuff. And it was just listening to. And this the last time we went, it was just a couple of guys playing jazz, like smooth jazz. It was great.
A curator that picks the bands.
Yeah, and it was really, really good. And it was nice just to sit and chill, listen to good chill music, and hang out with friends, hang out with family. I got to see one of our past masters' little girls, and golly, she's getting so big, and that's kind of good for the soul, And then, like Brandy mentions, we went to a jazz lounge once before, and we've got plans kind of in the books, or not in the books, but in the works. We're thinking about having a date night where we plan a restaurant in downtown Fort Worth and then go to like a comedy club or something. And, Dutch treat, everyone pays for your own. That way you can buy what you want and you eat what you want and then go there. But it's just a good excuse for the husbands and wives and everybody get together and hang out that way. You mentioned Rit, and the music and stuff. Another thing that we do, which is a lot of fun, we have a family day annually. And in the past, what Rit has done, and I love Rit, and I many, many thanks to him and his family for putting us on for so many years. They were in a water slide, and it was, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I think that guys are trying to kill each other because he would have two water slides, a big one for the adults and a small one for the kids, and have them come out. And they're not crazy expensive to rent, but he would come out and they would cook, and it's fun for the whole family. Good old family fun. Of course, as the libations tend to flow, people get a little bit more excited. And by the end of 1 year, there's one guy, he's like, okay, so I'm going to go down the slide. I'm going to go really fast. And then I'm going to hit this bump. I'm going to jump up. You throw me a beer and I'm going to grab it and chug it. He's like, oh yeah. Okay. Someone have 911 on standby. This guy's about to kill himself.
17 takes later. He's hammered and still hasn't done it.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the first attempts, I think the beer binged him in the head. Everybody, like all the girls have their phones up filming this. They're like, yep, no, this is, we're about to be internet famous.
And yeah, we signed liability waivers to go to work compound.
No, that was so much fun though. But
that party is a line item budget in our every year budget, and it's affordable. I'm not going to say the exact dollar, but I mean either lodge could afford it. Basically, Rit and his family prepare the meal, and somebody else handles the slide, and boom, we all show up, have a good time. It's usually July 4th this weekend.
Yeah.
And where he lives, you see plenty of fireworks.
Yeah, I think this year he's planning on doing something a little bit more low key, just basically cook and watch fireworks, and which is awesome. I love being out there at the Ritz house. What else do we do that's fun that people love?
Well, you kind of glossed over the fifth Monday thing.
Oh yeah,
you call it date night. So yeah, we get a couple of months a year. We have a fifth Monday. Our traditional lodge night is Monday. So if there is a fifth Monday, we go dark, and the brothers will go somewhere, and we kind of rotate based on if the lodge pays or if we go Dutch. It's part of our dues. It's in the budget, and we'll do a good meal. And we've actually, since Gabe's been in the East, we started doing festive boards at those fifth Mondays, which is pretty cool. A little bit more formal than some people want, but I like it. We have a good time.
Kind of give you a background on how that started. Many years ago, our lodge, as you know, there's 4 Mondays in a month traditionally. We had our stated meeting is the second Monday. So on the first Monday was always like floor school. And then the second Monday was always, our stated meeting. And then we always had things scheduled for the various Mondays. Well, on the fifth Monday, we're like, well, what do we do? And so it was a bonus. So someone came up with the idea. It's like, hey, let's go out. Let's go out and have a hamburger or something. And now it's kind of evolved into, like Brandy said, a line out of budget. We spend some money. Last time we went to a restaurant, had a festive board, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. This year we kind of did every other fifth Monday was Dutch treat. So we would go to somewhere. I mean, that way, get what you want. That's a lot of fun. And that's something else fun that we do. So, but again, ideas for people.
And festive boards are so much more fun when you know the rules and other people don't know the rules.
Yeah.
So
yeah, guys, if you've never been to a festive board, you need to go to one. They are a lot of fun. Think of it. It's like a drinking game, but obviously you can do this without alcohol. But it's like a drinking game where there's like really silly rules. And well, for example, last one I went to from Grand Lodge, it was a fundraiser, and you have to buy these tokens. And every time you broke a rule, you had to put a token in the bucket. And if you run out of tokens, well, you got to go buy more. And like I said, fundraiser. So they have all these obscure rules, like everything, like your cup. It's not a cup; it's a firing vessel. And if you get caught calling it a cup, it's token in the bucket.
It's a cannon.
Yeah. Oh, firing cannon. Yep. See right there. That just cost me a token because I called it the wrong name. And your plate is not a plate; it's a tile. Yeah, and your knife has a different name, your fork has a different name, and yeah, it's funny. So one of my friends' fiance is like, so it's a drinking game. It is a drinking game, but the rules are so obscure you'll never get them all, and you have to catch people.
And they will catch you.
They will catch you, especially when it's for charity. Ours are a little bit less formal, but we still have a lot of fun.
Definitely.
So another thing that we did, and this was awesome because we actually got a member out of this. Our lodge has a gala every year. This started a couple of years ago. Well, I say every year. A couple of years ago.
We skipped because of COVID, obviously.
Yeah. So a few years ago, one of our past masters he was master that year, decided he wanted to put together a black tie ball. Good excuse to get everybody together, get dressed up, get fancy. Awesome. Lodge paid for it. He worked very, very hard, got it in budget, very affordable. It was amazing. I had a wonderful, wonderful time. So the next year we did it again and, tweaked it, made a few tweaks. So then it went dark for a little bit, COVID and things like that. But we did it again this year, which was actually just in January. And we had, Brandy, you tell me, do you have fun at that one?
I think everyone had fun. We're going to delve further into the gala in future episodes because Jeremy, as junior warden, 100% planned that with the help of his stewards.
Yeah.
And it is.
I learned a lot, and I'm really eager to share what I've learned. It's not as hard as you would think. It's that initial learning curve. First time you've done it, it's made you feel like a pig on roller skates. You have no idea what you're doing. You feel like everything's going to be a disaster, but it came out so perfectly. I'm really excited to let everyone know how I did it, what I did, what to expect. It's not near as expensive as you would think. But yeah, it was a great time. And then of course, one of our dignitaries that we invited ended up, his wife actually told him, like, why are you not a member of this lodge? Yes, ma'am. So I snatched up our secretary. Hey, you need the petition.
We may have had the most recently freshly installed Grand Master at the gala too.
He was there. And rumor has it he had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I had so much fun that night. And I'm so relieved that it turned out so well because I definitely lost sleep on that one.
Well, in the previous week, the we had the Potentates installation ball at another venue downtown, which was awesome. It was a great time too.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
Way bigger event, way bigger budget.
Oh yeah.
So it was kind of cool seeing the difference between the two. And if you got a 6-figure budget or if you got a 4-figure budget, you can still have a really good gala.
Yeah, you can. And that was something that got brought up when we first pitched this. And everybody was like, black tie, man, I don't want to have to rent a tuxedo every year. It's like, dude, a lot of our guys, including myself, I got one off Amazon. I think I paid about $100 for my tux. Sure, it's not as fancy as everybody. You can tell, hey, it's the tailoring ain't quite perfect. But you know what? It was $100 tux. I wear it once a year. It serves my purpose.
Mine was $200 plus another $60 to tailor plus the shirt. I probably got more like $350 in mine.
Yeah, and your tux looks so nice. Like I feel upstaged when I'm sitting next to this guy. Just to be honest, guys,
it's all like 3 times as good as yours.
Yours does look 3 times better than mine.
We're still talking dirt cheap for a tux.
Yeah.
It costs you that much to rent one.
Basically,
you're going to spend close to $300 to rent one.
Yeah, and you might as well have it. And then, especially if your lodge is going to do something fun like that on a regular.
If you are still in the growing stage of life, talking to you 20-year-old Masons, you might want to rent because, by the time you hit late 30s, well, your tux ain't going to last 15 years anyway. But
dude, I'm mid 40s and I'm still in the growing stage. Apparently, my tux pants don't fit no more. I think COVID shrank my pants.
It happens, man. It happens.
It does happen, but that's
So yeah, the galas are cool. You can also, other lodges do them. Just show up. There's always annual like Grand Masters homecoming if you're near that, which actually is coming up this month here in Grapevine. I think they're calling it homecoming. It says North Conference, Grapevine, Texas, just east of us, not too far away. It's a great lodge running it. Should be fun. I'm not sure if I'm going to the gala. I'm definitely gonna go to the other events though. But yeah, definitely have galas. It draws in members. People see a bunch of guys in tuxedos having fun with their wives. Yeah, they want to be part of that group. So
one year, my girlfriend wasn't available to go to the gala. And so her best friend asked, like, well, can I go in her place? You know what? Sure, why not? It doesn't cost me anything. My ticket was free. So it was like, sure, why not? So we went, and after our gala, of course, at this one, we had open wine. There was like, I think 1 or 2 bottles of wine sitting on everybody's table. So, well, I was being very conservative because wine tends to give me a headache, so I was being very careful. But my friend was she was definitely enjoying herself. And afterwards, we went to a bar to as an after party, and I had about 2 servers ask, "What is this? Why are you show up in a tuxedo at a bar that you're normally in jeans and a faded Harley shirt?" They look at you funny and they're like, "What? Wait, what's going on?" So these girls like, "What'd you do?" And it's like, "Oh, well, it's our black tie balls, like for the lodge birthday and stuff." And they're like, "Well," I was like, "I want to go next year because I want to feel like her." Kim was having a really good time. It was great.
Well, the Potentates ball after that, it's more near the bar area downtown, and so we basically took over a local bar there. Yeah, it was really cool.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
Which events like that are good because all your brothers in your lodge, but there's other lodges, and that's how you meet those guys.
That independent bodies, man. I've met so many people in the independent bodies.
Yeah, and our temple's probably a little different than others because we have so many meeting in the same building. But it's like I never met the secretary that sits at my desk until that night.
Yeah.
Like we've got 4 lodges that meet in our room. Well, no, it's 3 technically, and then Rainbow Girls.
Never met him in that one room. Yeah, exactly.
Who's also a member of Cowtown Brew Club.
Yeah.
So yeah,
cool dude.
But yeah. So next we're gonna go.
So during every year, Texas Grand Lodge of Texas has a grand annual communication. And I really can't remember who started this tradition. I'm wanting to say it was Red, but I'm not sure. Anywho, doesn't matter. Someone had the idea, hey, we all go down for grand communication. This is when, the resolutions are voted on and everything. So all the past masters and the master of the lodge needs to go down and, cast their vote. Well, someone decided, hey, let's, there's an Airbnb literally across the street from the Grand Lodge building. And someone had the idea, it's like, hey, let's rent that. It seats I think it sleeps 15 people. So we take that 15 people, divide by, or take the cost, divide by the 15 people, share it amongst the brethren, and hey, you get a room. And it's literally across the street. So you don't have to worry about parking and driving and all this other stuff. And then the fun happens. So yeah, the grand communication, that's extremely important. And, lots of good business happens there. But at 5 o'clock when they close, I don't know about you, Brandy, but I'm definitely ready to get a drink.
And Waco accommodates.
Waco accommodates. This year, there was a pub crawl.
The Brothers of Waco 92 do a great job organizing after hours events.
They did wonderful.
We might need to get Dave or definitely Robert on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Dave, Robert, if you're listening, call us. Call me.
Yeah, or Facebook.
Yeah, we'll hit them up. But anyway, so yeah, there was a pub crawl, which was a lot of fun. And again, it's one of those after hours things. You don't have to drink. I mean, you can go and drink soda and fraternize. I mean, the first stop was at a pizza joint. So we went and got pizza. Great, because I was hungry. Then we went to another place, and it was cool. We had a good time there. We went to another place. Yes, and everything was walking distance. It was cold, but it was worth it. It was walking distance. I think I bailed on the last place because I was just tired, and I went back to the room, and I think we ended up like 3 blocks away.
Some people in our entourage had to actually, work the next morning. So
yeah. Some people actually had to be responsible. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was so much fun. And again, thanks for reminding me that Waco put that on, because those guys at Waco, they're wonderful.
The Grand Lodge of Texas is a big, beautiful building. The parking lot, it's big, but they could double the size and still would be enough parking.
Yeah.
The beauty of the Airbnb is we got our own parking lot too.
Yeah, we do have a small private parking lot. And that really helps.
But don't need ideas, because we got that thing exclusive for
that is a
perpetuity.
That is absolutely.
So join our lodge, get in the line, and you get an invitation.
Absolutely. We'll bring you in, man. We'll take you. We'll take care of you. And one thing I do like is after, like on a Friday or during lunchtime on Saturday, or sometimes, or even Thursday night, guys will come and hang out. They'll come over to us like, oh, you're in the building over there? Yeah. Well, come over and, have a soft drink, have a soda, hang out with us for a minute. And, we'll order lunch, and, usually we'll make one of our stewards make a pizza run. Like, hey man, come on and hang out with us for a bit. Smoke cigars.
Jeremy's glossing over the fact that we compete over who can bring the best bourbon.
That is true. That has become a tradition at our. Now, I couldn't touch the price point on your bottle. You blew me out of the water on that one. That was a darn good bottle. But yeah, someone's like, yeah, well, you got to bring a party favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I bring my favorite bottle of bourbon. Brandy shows up with a very nice exclusive bottle of bourbon, and it was great. I remember one year the kitchen island. There's an island in the kitchen. I don't know, it's like 6 feet, but it's got the dishwasher and the sink, everything in it. That island was nearly covered in bottles. One guy brought a scotch from Scotland that I think like his family knows or owns or something. And yeah, it was amazing. I've had all sorts of very, very interesting beverages there. And it's very easy to get yourself polluted. It's very easy, but you got to be careful. That's
You might just stumble to your bed. They might be one flight up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a 3-story house, and it's you stumble up those narrow staircases, that narrow winding staircase.
Oh, good reference.
Yeah,
this is a Masonic-ish podcast. So
it is. So that's our grand communication. Again, guys, if you don't go down, at least get a hotel room and party. You're kind of missing. You're missing something.
We also do. This year's gonna be a little different, but we go to officer leadership training. It used to be called the Warden's Retreat. All the Grand Lodge officers go. Years past, we've always had it at one hotel and booked it, but this year we're gonna do it a little differently. So we're probably gonna do the Airbnb again, but it's in Corpus, officer leadership training. The guys that go to the training, it's a great deal. You need to do it. But we're there for more fellowship, to have a good time, and it's right next to the beach, so wives love it. But
yeah, so I've already had my leadership trainings, so I go down to Corpus just for the fun, and it was a lot of fun. So Brandy and one of our other members, they went and they actually sat through the class, which is great. Like Brandy said, these are extremely good classes. Highly recommend having them. And it's open to Master Masons. So you don't have to be a warden. You don't have to be an officer. Master Masons. So Brandon and this one other brother went down there, and I ended up taking their wives to the beach. So it was the four of us. So me, my girl, and their wives. We all went out to the beach. So I come back Monday with this glorious sunburn, and you can see my sunglass marks and everything. It was great, and I think that my sunburn alone enticed everybody's like, okay, we're going next year. We're doing it next year. You look like you had a lot of fun. I did have a lot of fun. Ask everyone, ask all the girls, ask them, did y'all have fun? Yeah, because that's what we just went and partied.
For those not familiar, Corpus Christi is very, very South Texas. The beaches are not really in Corpus. You have to go a little further south to Padre Island or Mustang Island. But the state of Texas considers Padre Island National Seashore as a freeway or a highway. You can drive on it. You go the first 5 miles, you can do it two-wheel drive, no problem. We only own Jeeps. We're Jeep.
They're Jeeples.
Yeah, we're Jeeples. We're weird. Anyways, my wife, we took her Wrangler down, which it can go no problem all the way to the end of it. So so you go out 5 miles, 6-7 miles, there's nobody else there. It's you, desolate, empty, beautiful beach.
Yep.
So it's a good time. A little further south, you can go to actual Padre Island, which everybody knows where that is. It's a huge place. Cool thing about that, you can see SpaceX from there. So they've got a facility at Boca Chica.
Didn't you drop it? Yeah, you showed me pictures of that. Yeah.
We went there for my birthday in December.
Nice.
And can't really utilize the water, but you got a cool beach. Hotels are affordable.
Nice.
Not the best party town, but that's not really what I'm there for. I want to relax. And
right.
It's a good drive. So there's other options in Corpus. Plus they do a master mason degree on an aircraft carrier. The Lexington. If you haven't seen one of those, that's really cool.
That is cool. And if you're worried, that is an air conditioned room. Don't worry, guys. If you're sitting there in your suit or whatever it is you wear, it is an air conditioned room. But yeah, that is super cool. That's a bucket list item, guys. If you haven't done that, that is like seriously the coolest thing. When I went, the Grandmaster actually conferred the degree, and it was super cool to actually watch, the man confer the degree. That was really cool.
And the last one we had the Grandmaster in the room with the incoming, the deputy. So that was interesting.
Yeah, that is super cool.
I actually talked to the candidate that was initiated on.
That's gotta be so. I mean, could you imagine having that honor of like, hey, you're going to be the guy this year? Where
I don't think he understood.
He does now.
He just figured out. I mean, he knew ahead of time.
Hey, your degree date's on this day. Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah. And he posted on it. Posted about it on Reddit, which we all do Reddit here.
Oh, come on, who doesn't?
It's trendy.
It's the front page of the internet.
It's like just the gravity of having. Okay, so Hella Shrine. We have some professional master mason degree teams around. They traveled all the way down there to do the degree. So it's phenomenal. Nice. That's what they do.
That was seriously one of the best outside of Fort Worth lodges, of course. But that was seriously one of the best master mason degrees I've ever seen in my life. That was really, really good.
Yeah, I could have criticized it, but I'm not good enough.
Right? Yeah, he in glass houses shall not cast stones.
I can do the secretary part perfectly.
Right. So another fun thing that we do, it's kind of associated with our lodge, but very, very loosely, is MasoniCon. And I know you've heard Rit and Gabe and everyone talk about MasoniCon on the main podcast. Bring in guest speakers from all over. It's an all-day event, and it's just a really, really cool thing. This is actually the way they've got it done, and not to reveal too much of our laundry, but it's actually a separate item. It's not even in our lodge's budget. So it's like completely self-funded. So that's why we sell tickets.
Zero profit.
Yeah, zero profit. This, like everything, I mean, we have to sell X number of tickets, I think, just to make the ends meet and stuff, because it's
August 20th.
I believe so. Gabe's going to kill me for not having this memorized.
Texas MasoniCon, TexasMasonIcon.com.
Yeah, MasonIcon.com.
Never actually.
MasoniCon.
I haven't attended yet, so I can't talk about it. But I've seen the list of who's going to be there.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth it. Also coincides with our temple is hosting the officer leadership training the same day, so we're going to have a few hundred brothers there.
It'll be a cool place, and everybody gets to see our cool, beautiful building.
Yeah,
everybody gets to see it. It's awesome. So some of the other things that, and I wanted to mention this because, as I mentioned earlier, I ride a motorcycle. I love my two wheels, my two-wheel therapy or my wind therapy. Brandy loves, rides his motorcycle. He's got a motorcycle. So some lodges, our lodge does not, but other lodges do, and other appendant bodies do. They put together motorcycle rides. Arlington Heights, which is a neighboring lodge, they're right down the street from us. They do a ride every year. They go west, don't they? It's about a half a day ride, isn't it?
Oh, the last one was, I'm going to mess the Fort up, like Fort Dixon or something.
Okay.
But it's about a 2-hour ride. Completely reasonable. It goes west out on not 20. You take the back roads.
Yeah.
They go out there. They have lunch. They come back.
Yeah, and that's what they do. They go out and they have lunch. They come back, and I believe it's basically you're going to spend basically half the day.
And it was a big group last time.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Scottish Rite does one. They do you said it's a poker run. Never caught that one. I've been wanting to.
I was not raised when that one came around last time,
Okay.
so I wasn't clear if I was eligible to go. I
Okay.
could have. I'm sure it was a fundraiser thing, but
Yeah.
you don't know. With the Sonic convention, you never know who's eligible, and I'm not
Yeah.
a Scottish Rite member yet. I plan on it, just haven't done it yet.
Yeah, don't mail me petitions. I know where you're at.
I'm not going to talk about it.
So poker runs are super
The
fun.
best thing you can do to newly raised Master Masons, walk into a meeting for any of the dependent bodies and say, "Hey, I just got raised."
You're gonna have so many petitions shoved in your hand. You're like go home and like empty out your jeans. Hey, wait a minute! Someone stuffed one in my back pocket. What the heck?
Yeah, I've been a petition with the Grandmaster's portrait on it.
Yeah.
And then,
Nice.
and then a few weeks later, he asked me about it. So not the current one; it was a previous one.
That's funny. That's too funny. But yeah, so there's all sorts of fun things to do. That so that kind of leads me to the appendant bodies. The appendant bodies have their own fun things to do. If you're looking for interesting and fun things to do, visit the appendant bodies, see what they're doing, and try to incorporate that in your lodge. But every lodge is different. Every lodge has their own personality. You've got to see what works for you and your lodge. So
Yeah, if you just stick with Blue Lodge, I mean, you can dedicate your whole life to Blue Lodge and never learn everything.
That's true.
Just by design, but the appendant bodies offer just different stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
you're not going
and
to
you're gonna meet new people.
Yeah, you won't find a homebrew club in a Blue Lodge.
Yeah, I joined the Shrine, and I'm telling you, that is seriously one of the funnest organizations I've ever joined. It's funnest word. It is now. I just used it anyway. It's one of the funnest organizations I've ever joined. Everyone is super chill. They take their charity work super seriously, which is actually what brought me to Masonry in general. Was I wanted to charity. We got street corners collections coming up here in a couple of weeks, so I'm excited to do that. But I really, really enjoyed that. Plus, I started meeting people that are from other lodges, and now I'm like, no, wait a minute, no, it's like, oh, well, our lodge is doing this fun activity, like the poker run. Oh, really? Or this bike ride. Like, oh, really? Okay, well, I may want to get into that. And
and you're also an officer in the MWSA,
yeah,
Masters Warden Secretary Association.
Yep.
So you get a little bit of that, but not. That's a quarterly meeting.
Yeah.
And it's a great organization. I'm not trying to demean
yeah.
it, but it's not going to offer the same activities and fellowship. You get to meet secretaries, officers, spend a lot, but you don't hang out. You can do fun stuff. It's a business meeting.
Yeah, it's just a business meeting, and I have met a lot of people. I have met some cool people. So actually, to kind of tell a quick story on that one. Last year at officer leadership training in Corpus, my girl got severely sunburnt, so she was in the up in the hotel room trying to like not die, and so I'm like, well, I'm not that bad, so I'm gonna go downstairs and socialize with the guys because the training was about to let out, and I was sitting there drinking beer with a guy that that I met through the MWSA. And we're sitting there just chilling, just chatting and stuff. And, I learned some cool stuff, chatting with him. And because I've never really had a chance to like sit and talk with him and really pick his brain and like, well, what do you do? And what do you this? And, but it's a lot of fun.
The great thing about Masonry in general is everybody comes from all walks of life.
Yep.
It's just crazy how the connections work.
Yeah.
And you never know from the guy washing your car to the guy doing surgery on your face. They could all be brothers.
Literally. Yeah. I have sat at dinner with people that are completely out of my socioeconomic range who would never hang out with a mechanic. And like, yeah. So
we're also mechanics by trade. So that's another connection.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. So, you're a surgeon. Sweet. And I'm a mechanic.
I'm kind of a surgeon.
Yeah. I was like, bone broke. I know how to fix that. I put screws in it, plate. There you go. Hey, that's what I do.
Yeah. I can tell you how to reset adapters on your 6070 trans and why it doesn't work properly.
There you go.
That's complicated. It's like brain surgery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have you built an automatic transmission? Well, I know you've built one, Brandy, but when's the last time y'all built an automatic transmission? Have you seen all the parts? Build it right, guaranteed to work the first time. Yeah, that takes practice.
Yeah, the patient usually doesn't die when you put the wrong place in the wrong hole, though. So
true, but you do have to pull that transmission back out, which is not fun.
You die a little inside.
Yeah, we die a little bit on the inside. That's a good way to put it.
Especially when your friends bash you.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, I thought you fixed it. Hey, listen here, can't fix it. It's an engineering problem. So I think this kind of wraps up. Brandy, do you have anything else you want to add for the good of the podcast?
I know we always say on the regular podcast, drop us comments on what you like, what you don't like. Hopefully we figure out how to read those comments. We're kind of new to this thing. This is the first one we've done. We've got a lot of ideas and topics, and just like the other groups that we're doing, we're going to need content. Whatever draws listenership and whatever you think. If you think we're saying something dumb, let us know. If you think it's awesome, you want us to delve into bigger topics, by all means. I kind of want to do the Masonic history related to brewing.
That's an upcoming episode.
It is. There's a few topics on that one.
Yeah.
And
okay, so it's a few episodes.
Yeah.
Those are a few upcoming episodes. Yeah, we found some really good, interesting stuff, guys.
It turns out all the founding fathers liked beer.
What?
Like even George Washington apparently brewed beer and paid his troops with beer.
Nice.
That's what I heard. I don't know.
That's what I heard. I wasn't there. I couldn't tell you personally, but that's those stories are definitely probably true. Well, back then wasn't like beer like the only safe drink to drink back then because
it's pasteurized by default.
Exactly, it's pasteurized. So hey, you can drink this and guarantee. Well,
you might get sick, but not because of not because of what you're drinking.
Yeah, you're not going to get dysentery from drinking beer. So
hopefully not.
But definitely, guys, folks out there, seriously, let us know what you think. Being a mechanic, I got thick skin, man. You ain't going to hurt my feelings. If you think I stink, tell me.
I'm very sensitive.
Okay, so direct your evil and hate to Jeremy.
As a grizzled secretary, I'm very sensitive to everyone's criticism.
But give us ideas. I mean, if you're like, hey, I like when you said this or this, or have you thought about talking about this? And man, we'll expand on it. We'll talk about it, and because our goal is to please you guys, and
we plan on a few guest episodes. Not really the interview side, but we'll have a few guests. So yeah.
And Brandon and I loving beer so much, and homebrew is so big a part of us. We're gonna do a lot of beer stuff. If you like beer, chime in, tell us like, hey, talk about this, or share your experience, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, well beers. That was another thing I talked about. I just happen to have a bottle of Sam Adams Utopia right here under my desk.
No
Crazy.
Way.
Yeah, a beer you couldn't do here before.
The elusive Utopias.
Yeah, just for example.
Love that beer. Great beer.
We should probably close this one out.
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap this up. So again, I'm Jeremy Gwynn for the Fort Worth Lodge. I'm
Brandy Patton, Fort Worth Lodge.
Go ahead.
So for more information, fortworthlodge.com. That's us for Fort Worth 148. If you want to email us, it's fortworth148@gmail.com. Also, for more information on Masonicon, it's texasmasonicon.com, texasmasonicon.com. And that's, I'm Brandy Patton, closing out.
I'm Jeremy Gwynn, closing out.